Welcome to a fantastic time with me, Taher Houssain. Welcome to the very first episode of this podcast. And now you might be wondering, what is this podcast? Who are you? What are you trying to do? What is this? Well, I'm going to tell you. So this podcast is, a place for me to just talk about, a place for me to ramble about life, career, what's happening. Might have a guest or two. That might be nice, having a guest or two, but it's just a place for me to have conversation or to start conversation, and for you guys to write in the comments and write something back and start another conversation. It just leads into bigger conversation. So it's just all about conversation because I like talking. Yeah, or at least that's what my mum tells me. Oh yeah, and she still tells me that. But yeah, I digress. A bit about myself. I am 24, graduated uni 2 years ago. Oh god, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's a long time. Like I feel old. Like I'm about 24. I turned 24 like probably 2 months ago, and I'm pretty sure my lower back. I'm pretty sure as soon as I turned 24, my lower back went. It's either that or it's all the 12-hour shifts I was doing at the time, but I'm pretty sure it's because I turned 24. Like my lower back was like, "You're 24, mate. It's gonna happen. Just deal with it." And I was just like, damn, yeah, it's not good at all, but it is what it is. A little bit more about myself. I'm an actor, which means I'm mostly unemployed and I'm working a job that I don't really particularly like, but who does nowadays, if you get what I mean? Like, job market is absolutely terrible. It's probably just as bad as the acting market or the actors market. A lot of rejection, and there's about 1,000 people going for exactly the same job. It's absolutely terrible. But if you love something, you just do it and you just keep pursuing it. And that's why I'm an actor, because I love it. It's amazing, and I love everything film, everything actory, the production, pre-production, not so much post-production. If you want to know anything about me, I hate editing. Like editing, oof. That was bad. Editing is the bane of my existence. Like I just can't. It's just so slow, and then it takes up so much time, and then you're just never happy with it. So that's why I decided to do a podcast, because it's minimal editing. I'm so sorry for everybody listening, thinking this was going to be a whole grand production. It really isn't. It's because this was the easiest way for me to ramble and talk without doing too much editing. So this is what I've come to, because I think that would be fun. And also, I was like, how funny would it be if I did a solo podcast with me just talking to myself to a camera for about like half an hour, because I think that's how long my camera would last until it switches off. So you've got me for about half an hour. One of these days I'll manage to get up to an hour when I can afford a camera, but that's for another day. So we're working on today. As you can see, I'm holding my microphone because I didn't have a stand. Like I can't lie to you. I didn't have a stand, and I didn't want to buy one because I was like, it looks kind of expensive, and then I've got nowhere to put it. But I did get myself a monster. So I'm doing some things right. I'm just gonna have a little sip. But yeah, I know this first episode I'm just going to ramble, talk about whatever. Going forward, I'll be a little bit more organized with all of this. This is my third take, I can't lie to you, because I did one or two other recordings and they were absolutely shocking. Like, I'm not sure how this one's going, but it's probably not going to be as shocking as those ones. So it's all good. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, acting, it's a lot of rejection. In like the 2 years since I've left uni, or my conservatoire, I've had a few acting roles here and there, nothing big, but that's the process. Acting is a lot of training, a lot of time, a lot of creativity, and a lot of money. You all sink a lot of money into this. Like, so much money. And you think to yourself, bloody hell, I could have used that for a holiday. Or a Nando's. But I didn't. I used it on my career because I'm a responsible adult. Or at least that's what I like to tell myself. God, my hair's getting in my way. God damn it. Or at least that's what I tell myself. But yeah, no, it's a bit like the current job market, I guess. Like I know people out here who are struggling to get jobs at McDonald's. McDonald's. I used to work there actually, like back in the day, like back when I was 16. That was, I won't tell you how long ago that was. I'll let you work that out. But that was time ago, and yeah, it wasn't the best job. They fed you, which was good. Like, oh my god, you could go in there on your lunch break. You get to make your own sandwiches, add whatever you want. You get it for free. You get a side of chips with it, a nice drink. One time they offered me a coffee because it was cold, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot to bring any sugar. And at that time, I was young. I was 16, so coffee wasn't to my palate, or whatever you call it. So I was drinking this hot coffee in the freezing cold with no sugar, and it was the most bitterest thing on the planet. And I was a chubby little one. Like, I was skinny fat. Like, I was not sporty when I was younger at all. So I was a bit chubby, a bit bloated, and eat McDonald's like every other day. So yeah, you can just picture that kid. Yeah, it wasn't fun. Like, the job itself, stressful as all hell, because yeah, it's just fast paced, mate. It's just fast paced. It's like it's crazy with the temperature play, because I used to be on the grill and the fryer, and you'd have to bring out, you have to bring the meat, bring the nuggets and stuff out of the freezer. So you'd go from extreme cold to extreme heat on the grill and fryer. And I've burnt myself once or twice, and it is painful. It is disgusting. It is grotty. You don't feel clean. You don't feel clean in that environment. I don't think you can feel clean in that environment with the amount of grease that is involved in that work environment. Like, I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I would sometimes finish my shift. And bear in mind, sometimes I'd have a small shift, like 4 hours or something like that, which was nice. 4-hour shift, half an hour of that was a break where I'd just get to eat lunch and chill and do whatever. But sometimes I'd go an entire shift without getting a lick of grease on me, without touching the grill, without touching any oil, or doing any of that. And somehow you wouldn't feel it whilst you were in the restaurant, but somehow I'd leave the restaurant, and the minute you touch fresh air, you could just feel this thin film of grease just on your skin. Like, it's just covering it, and it's the most disgusting thing on the planet, because you know it's there. You just feel it. It's just you feel it on your skin, and it's just a weird feeling. It's a nasty feeling. Like, that's how greasy some of these fast food places are, that that it permeates the air, it permeates the kitchen. I'm not sure if it's like that in like a regular kitchen, because I've never worked in a regular commercial kitchen as a chef or anything like that. Let me know if any of you are chefs if any of you are chefs or work in that kind of environment. Let me know, like, do you feel that like layer of grease or anything like that on your skin, or that layer of sweat? Because I don't know, it was weird working in a fast food place. Like, it put me off fast food for about 2 years. Like, I did not step into McDonald's for about 2 years. Wouldn't eat their chips, wouldn't eat anything, just because I was just put off, mate. Like, genuinely. Like, if you want to be put off fast food, work in fast food, unless you like it, then you're probably gonna get a bit lardy. I can't lie to you. I got a bit lardy from that place. Did it for about a year, and then I was just like, I need to work in a better environment, in a better job. So I quit my job, and I worked at a Sports Direct. Yeah, working at a Sports Direct, it's I don't know how to explain it to you. It was a very big Sports Direct. People there, lovely. Like, any job I've worked at, people are always great. Some of them are a bit questionable in character, like any workplace, and I love that. But yeah, work with Sports Direct, yeah, that's a depressing place. Anybody working at Sports Direct, my heart goes out to you. I did it for about a year and a bit. Very depressing, very minimum wage. I would not do it. They actually tricked me, actually, because I was getting paid about £5.40 at McDonald's. This was back in the day. That was like above minimum wage. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm making about a fiver. It's still shit, but I was making a fiver, so I was like, brilliant. I think there's a fly about, bastard. But Sports Direct were advertising on Indeed. I was just like, okay, cool, let me have a look. And they were saying, we'll pay you up to £7, £8. And bear in mind, I think I just turned 17. I turned 17 whilst working at McDonald's. So I was thinking, £7 at my age, that's amazing. That's about like £3 to £4 over minimum wage. So I was like, I'm happy days, go for it. I get into the interview. Bear in mind, I've quit McDonald's because I was like, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm leaving the job. So I didn't have anything lined up. So I was just like, I need this Sports Direct job. And it seemed very promising. I go in there, do the interview, and they're like, so yeah, your wages will be about £4.20. £4.20. I went from £5.40 to working for £4.20. And bear in mind, to walk to McDonald's, because I used to walk, of course, everywhere, didn't get a lift from my dad or anything, it'd be a 20-minute walk, 25 minutes sometimes, if I was taking my time or whatever. To get to the Sports Direct, it was a 45-minute walk. I'd walk, I think it was a 2-mile walk. I think it might have been 2 miles, a mile and a half, or something like that. But I'd walk it because I was like, hey, I need money, I need a job, whatever. Rain, shine, morning, like night close, whatever it is, I would be there. And it's a depressing place, mate. It's a depressing place, especially for £4.20. Because so, like, when you go there, and bless you, like anybody who works at Sports Direct, respect to you. You're doing a great job. And if it's what you want to do, then screw it. Who cares? Whatever. Who cares what I say? Like, do what you got to do. You get what I mean? But I know, like, working there, like, it was either people who were using it as a temporary stopgap, or people who were there just for years because they didn't know what they wanted to do. And there's no progression. There's no progression in Sports Direct. Like, it's absolutely awful. I think I knew this one woman. I think you literally just go from just a regular employee to a manager. And I think the manager at the time had been working there for like 10 years to get promoted. I was like, I'm not working 10 years at minimum wage just for the off chance to get promoted. Like, I don't know, there's something grim about that. There's something dark about that. And I don't know, like, let me know if you guys think exactly the same, because I know it's just not for me. Like, it's not promising. There are no career prospects there. But that's just me saying that. I did have a lot of fun though. I've got a lot of stories from there. A lot of dicking about. I won't lie to you. Like, it's not that serious of a job. But the good thing about it was you did make commission. You did make commission on certain shoes, and that would incentivize you. And then, yeah, that was nice. Like, getting commission. Like, I haven't gotten commission in ages. Like, all my other jobs again have been retail or something of that, like, no commission. But Sports Direct, that's what I did. Like, I think we sold these like knockoff Air Max 90s called like Invigas or Ivos or something like that. They were about £100. Oof, fuck, another one. They were about £100, and honestly, they weren't too bad. But you could tell they were like knockoff Air Max 90s. And the issue with that, I think it was Air Max 1s. Well, whichever one. It was one or the other. And the thing about that was, like, it was about £100. Sorry about that. People walking about the house. But the thing about that was, like, they were like £100, £120. I think maybe it wasn't 130. Tops £120. But for that same price back in the day, you could go out and buy yourself some Air Max 1s, some Air Max 90s, because they weren't popping off like they were like during like the whole sneaker hype beast thing. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, they were dirt cheap. And people would still come into Sports Direct and buy these Air Max Ivos and stuff like that. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, in the back of my head, because to their faces, I'd be like, oh, it's a great choice. It's a brilliant choice. Air Max 90s, you don't need them. Air Max 1s, you don't need them. Because you made like 10% commission on those shoes. So on about probably, no, that's a lie. You made about 5% commission if you just sold the shoe. If you sold it with like a pair of socks or something like that, 10% commission. You'd make a tenner. Off of what? One shoe. That was amazing. So I sold 3 of them in one day, made 30 quid and called it a day. And, at 17 or going on to 18, that's a lot of money, especially when I'm on £4.20 a day. And I'm working, not working, but walking 45 miles. Not 45. What? 45, I think I'd be dead, man. I'd be skinny as hell. No, walking 45 minutes to work. Walking 45 minutes back to... So I'm wasting an hour and a half of my life every other day whenever I go to shift just to make £4.20. And sometimes they take the piss. Sometimes they'd call me in for a 2-hour shift because they had no one on the closing, and I'd go because I needed the money. And I was like, oh, it's 2 hours, so I would walk an hour and a half. I don't know why I did this. I'd walk an hour and a half to go to work to close, because we used to close at like 8 o'clock in like the evening or something. I'd work between 6 to 8 and make about £8.40 and walk 45 minutes all the way back home. Sometimes in the cold, sometimes in the freezing rain. And at Sports Direct, like, I know, I'm not sure about now what the uniform's like, but you didn't wear like long trousers, you wore shorts. So in the middle of winter, I'd walk home in shorts in the pissing rain, in the freezing cold with wind. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded the cold. It's the wind that I minded, because when the wind hits your legs, it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling. That was a depressing moment in my life. Like, I can't lie to you. It's not a fun place to work. But yeah. I think the best place I've worked, the best job I've ever had, was probably O2. Yeah, I think that was my next job, because decent pay, decent hours, team was an absolute laugh. And yeah, it was actually a half decent job. Like, you actually felt good about what you were selling. You didn't feel like you were scamming people. Sometimes at Sports Direct, people would come in, and honestly, I just ran. I'd be like, I'm just here to get the sale, or I'd lie to them and tell them we didn't have the shoe size and just go and sit in the back. Like, it was not a fun place, unless like it was the incentive of I'm getting commission. Then honestly, I'd be up there. I'd be making that sale. You get what I mean? But sometimes people would come in. I know Sports Direct nowadays. I know I'm on about this. Is just a Sports Direct episode that I've just realised. But who cares? Let me tell a Sports Direct story. Sports Direct nowadays, I think they sell Yeezys, they sell Air Max 90s. Like, Sports Direct has gone up in the world in terms of the shoe game and stuff, and I respect it. I'm here for it. And if you want to go for your sporting goods, go there. It's a nice little establishment. However, back in the day, they would sell the most bookiest shoes, knockoff shoes. They'd be selling your fire traps, I think it was your British Knights. I'm not sure if British Knights are still a thing, but British Knights, respect to them. They'd sell like Converse ones, I think they were. Like, terrible shoes. Like those shoes would get no respect on your name. Absolutely terrible. Like, they just weren't vibing, if you get what I mean. Like, but nowadays, if you want to go in there, they'd be selling, I think they sell Timberlands now in there, like the full-on 6-inch ones. So definitely go in there for your shoes and your sporting goods, especially if you can get them at like a good price. I don't know why I'm doing like a sponsored, like, I'm sponsoring them or doing a shout out. I don't know, but I just am. But back in the day, you used to get customers coming in, and they'd be looking for Air Force Ones. This was back in the day when white on white Air Force Ones were just popping off. This might have been 2017, 2018. They were like, people were like starting to get into them a little bit more, like white on white. You just had to wear them. You just had to get them. And kids would come in with their grandparents, their parents. I'd be like, do you guys sell Air Force Ones? Firstly, I'd look at their face and be like, you're better off going to a JD. You've come to a Sports Direct, of all places, looking for probably the most popular shoe on the planet at the current moment. And the next thing they do is ask me for the price. Back in the, I'm not sure what, I haven't bought a pair of Air Forces in a very long time, especially white on whites. I've never worn them. They've just never been my style. But I remember back in the day, they used to be a crisp £100. You'd have to pay a crisp £100 to get yourself a clean pair of white on white. And when I told these grandparents the price, you should see their faces. They'd be like, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying £100 for a pair of shoes. Which is crazy, because after that, or after the whole white on white craze, like, people were paying up to 200, 300. I think I paid about 300 for a pair of shoes back in the day. That everybody's made bad judgments. That was one of mine. Don't judge me or judge me. I know that's your choice. I've still got them though, so I've still got my shoes. So, and it's been years. So, investment worthwhile. That's all I'm gonna say. But these parents and grandparents, in front of me, bear in mind, and in front of other customers, would be like, I'm not getting that, or you can wait until Christmas. I'd be like, that's embarrassing. Don't do that in front of your kid. Or just they'd be complaining about the price. I'd be like, again, don't do that in front of me. If you're going to complain about the price, do it in private. Do it where, your kid or your child is not embarrassed, and maybe not in front of, employees, customers, and possibly their friends. I've seen some people have done it in front of their friends, and I'm just like, God damn it, bro. You're not putting any respect on these kids' names. Like, that's the thing with parents. Parents, when you take your kids out to shops or whatever, and things might be a bit too expensive, don't announce it to the world and don't berate the kid. I've had so many parents just berate the kids. That's so expensive. Why would you want me to buy that? You can spend your money on other things that are better. Granted, they could spend their money on a lot of things that would give them a lot more enjoyment, a lot more experiences, and would be a better use of time. Because let's be honest, they're going to look after these, unless they're like proper into shoes, they're going to probably look after these shoes for about 2 months, 3 months, maybe a year if they really like it, and they just forget about it, and then they're on to the next thing. That's how kids are. That's how I was back in the day. It was just the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It's just a never-ending cycle. Consumerism is bad. I've only just started learning this. Consumerism is not for me. I say this whilst slowly still being in consumerism. But yeah, that's a story for another day. I might do an episode on that, on consumerism and shopping habits, because back in the day I used to have really bad shopping habits, but fix that up. It's quality over quantity, and even then, do you need the quality? You got to ask yourself that. Do you actually need it? It's needs versus wants. That's an actor thing, by the way. It's what you got to ask yourself: do you want something? Or do you need something? If you need it, then you have to do it. If you want it, then you can hold off, because you might not actually want it. It might just be an impulse or something like that. But that's that. I've just told a whole story about Sports Direct. Like, I've just been on this whole topic because I was there for a long time. I think that place did shape me a lot, because I know, especially in McDonald's, I just didn't fit in. I was nervous. I was quite quiet and all sorts. I know, it just wasn't the environment. At Sports Direct, that's when I started coming out. That's when I started going, hanging out with work colleagues and all that good stuff. Do that occasionally if they're nice. You get what I mean? If they're weird, if they're a bit grotty, don't do it. Just don't do it. But yeah, no. That's where I sort of learnt that having a nice work environment can really change you. You get what I mean? Like an atmosphere and stuff like that. And that place also taught me about workplace drama. Don't get involved in it because it's not worth it. I was never involved in any workplace drama, but I just look at it from afar, and yeah, there was a lot of questionable behavior. Maybe I'll talk about it sometime in the future. I keep saying this, I'll talk about it in the future, but yeah, there was a lot of questionable behavior on a lot of people's parts. Yeah, I know. You always get that in any workplace. I know. I've had I think 2, maybe 3 workplaces where there's always that weird colleague. You get what I mean? You get what I mean? Like that creepy colleague who's just always I know, he's just a vulture. He's just looking for his next victim. I'm just like, good God, you're like 30, 35. And these people have just turned 18, maybe even 19, still under 21. So these people aren't legal adults across the world. Behave yourself, please. But yes, I know that's just been my little ramble on the workplace, specifically Sports Direct. Like I said, it did shape me a lot, and I've had a lot of jobs. I think at 24, I've had about 7 or 8 jobs. Not because I've been fired. I've not been fired from any job. I'll have you know. I think I nearly have from one, but that was a different story. But yeah, no, I've had a lot of jobs. I think it's good to have a lot of jobs because it teaches you respect. It teaches you don't be an arse to customers. Don't be an arse to colleagues. Don't be an arse to people. Like, when you're out shopping, don't be an arse to the employees because they're just doing their jobs. And realistically, if they've been there anywhere between 6 to 10 hours, they really don't. They're just done. They're just done. Have a bit of sympathy. Have a bit of mercy. That's the thing. Have a bit of mercy. Have a bit. Unless they're absolute twats, then don't have any mercy. Absolutely slate them because they don't deserve anything. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. And if you do that, don't say you did it because of me, because I'm not here to get in trouble with employees and establishments. Not on my first episode. If this gets me in trouble after my first episode, I'm done. Like, I'm packing my bags and I'm going back to retail full time, which I'm still in. So yeah, it's weird, like, when you're working a job that you're not fulfilled by. I think you might be asking, like, oh, you've worked 8 jobs. It's because I've never been fulfilled by any of them. Whether they've been a good atmosphere, a fun atmosphere, because I've had a lot of atmospheres with, like I said, like I used to work at O2 back in the day. Like that was a fun experience. That was joyful. Like I loved the team. The work I really didn't mind. But something about it, like, I don't know, I think it might be that part of me that is a little bit more creative, that wants to be in acting, that wants to be in entertainment and in the industry. I think that part of me just couldn't accept, or has never accepted, me working in retail, or me working just, I don't know, like a job. Like that sounds so, like, that's so first world. Like I'm so sorry about that. That's so first world of me to say. But like, yeah, no, like I've never felt comfortable in those environments. And like, there's something about me where I've never spent more than year and a half, I don't think, or not even a year and a half, a year and a bit in a job, just because I've just never enjoyed it. I've never felt like it resonated with me. I never felt like this is me. And that's a weird and uncomfortable space to be in. Not uncomfortable in the sense of like it helps you. Of course, it does help you grow, but like it's uncomfortable in the sense of like you don't feel like you belong. You don't feel like this is your space. You don't feel like this is you. You know what I mean? You don't feel any of that. And so, I don't know, like definitely working at, like, funny enough, at Sports Direct is where I found out I wanted to be an actor, because I just didn't feel fulfilled by the job. And that's the thing, you want to feel fulfilled. You want to feel like you want to go into work, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or at least a majority of my life, or at least the next 5 years. You can see yourself doing this for the next 5 years, and you won't be too disgruntled that you spent the last 5 years pondering away at this workplace, maybe even work through the ranks or whatever. Like, if you don't mind doing that, or if you're happy doing that, stay in that place, stay in that workplace, do that, have a good time. But for me, I just haven't found that space, or haven't found that like environment where I feel like I would want to do this for the rest of my life, apart from when I've been on set, when I've been acting, when I've been in that being surrounded by other people who are producing something. Like there's something about it that I just absolutely love. And yes, it's stressful. Yes, it's long days. Yes, it can be arduous. Like, a lot of things do go wrong when you're like, and I'm not sure if anybody has, if you're a film student, have worked in entertainment, or produced anything, you like, or even written anything, how much time, effort goes into writing or creating something so simple. Like, a lot of people won't know this, but sometimes a 5-minute video or a 5-minute scene, or even a 2-minute scene, can take sometimes anywhere between like an hour to up to 2 to 3 hours to shoot, because you're trying to get all the different shots, and you're trying to make it look right. You're trying to get like the actors or whatever to do what you want to do, and that's just production. That's not even pre-production, getting everything set up, and that's not even editing, post-production, where it gets crazy. It's where you find out like some of the stuff you shot is out of focus, where you find out that you actually didn't do a good job, where you were a bit clunky, where this was in the background, that was in the background, that went wrong. Like, there's so much to it, and it's so stressful. But honestly, for me, there's never been a feeling like it. Like, even post-production, I hate editing, but I'd much rather do that than work some of the jobs I have worked, or work in some of the environments I have worked in. But even though I would much rather do that, I'm always grateful. You got to be grateful. You got to be grateful for the jobs you've had and the opportunities you've had, because I know a lot of people might see them as stepping stones, and they are stepping stones if it isn't your main goal, or if it isn't what you're looking for. However, always be grateful. You've got to be grateful. That's what I've like found out, I think, when I was like 21, 22. Like, I'm glad I found it out young, but you've got to be grateful. No matter how much you hate the job in the moment, you've got to be like, okay, cool, I met some cool people, I had a few laughs. Was it a shocking experience? Yes. Was it a jarring experience? Yes. Will I ever go back? No. However, that's helped me develop, and that's helped me grow, and that's helped me sort of see the fact that I don't want to do this. Like, it's like going through, like, I know people who've gone through a 3-year uni course, 4-year uni course. At the very end of it, they've got their degree, they've got their bachelor's, they've got their honours, and they've turned around and been like, actually, I don't want to do this for a living. So you've gone into probably about 50, 60, at least in the UK, like, grand of debt, and you have to pay 9% of that like when you make certain amount, I think it's about 27k or something now, and you don't want to do this as a living, like that's shocking. Like that's genuinely shocking. But then sometimes you've got to go through like the hardest experiences to learn the simplest lessons. I think I've learned that quite recently, where you go through a lot of hard times, a lot of like crappy times, to learn the most simplest lessons. And yeah, like again, I'll touch upon that later on in the future, but for me, like, I don't know, some of the hard lessons that I have gone through have sort of taught me that I do want to be in a space where I can talk freely, where I can have a conversation, where I can start a discussion and trade thoughts and just ramble, because that's another creative outlet for me. So if you take away anything from this, is one, be grateful for all the crap jobs you have or currently have, just because, hey, job market's tough. There's plenty of rejection. People can't even get a job at McDonald's, so be grateful for that. But also, it helps you develop. It helps you develop, and it gives you character. No one likes a person without character. People without character are boring. Like, you don't want somebody you don't watch a show that's one-dimensional with one-dimensional characters. You watch a show that's three-dimensional with three-dimensional characters. Think Breaking Bad. You want to be Walter White, but without the meth empire. Or maybe you do want the meth empire, because for a long time that did go well until it didn't. So maybe that is your thing. I don't know. That's up to you. Yeah. I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it. Don't come for me. But yeah, just from this takeaway, just take away that, just be grateful for that. And also, it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. And sometimes the crappiest and hardest experiences teach you the simplest lessons. And that's a big takeaway I think you need to have, especially in this day and age. You just need to have that, because otherwise it's just going to be a lot of crap with no learning. And yeah, from first-hand experience, that is crap. It's not fun at all, so don't do it, mate. Don't do it. But yeah, I think I might. I'm gonna have to check. Yeah. I think I'm going to end the podcast on that note, actually. Thank you for listening. I know this one's been a bit rambly. I know this one's been a bit all over the place, but give me a break. It's my first podcast. It's my first episode. So it's going to be janky. It's going to be weird. It's going to be incoherent. However, it's the first episode. You got to start. You just got to start and be grateful for it, I guess. But anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you for spending a bit of time with me. And I'll see you on the next episode of A Fantastic Time with Taher Houssain.